Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg, this is Bond. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is very special because I bought a Rolex. I bought my dream watch, my grail watch. This watch has been on my mind for a long time and I finally bought it. So let's talk about it. Let me tell you the story behind this purchase and let me tell you how my experience of owning this Rolex Datejust for the first week has been so far. So let's get started. How the hell did this happen? How did I end up buying this watch? Well, first of all, let me tell you this. I wasn't expecting or planning to buy this watch. It has been on my radar for a long time, yes. In fact, I made a video why I'm not buying a Rolex Datejust when we just reached 1,000 subscribers back in, I think, April or so of this year. And it was a huge milestone for me personally and for the channel. And since then we have grown. Thank you everyone who is watching these videos and who has subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate all of your support and your comments and views and subscriptions and the rest of it. So thank you. So my goal has been, since I didn't buy the watch when we reached 1,000 subscribers, because Bond had some vet bills, so I spent a whole bunch of money on that and I didn't have enough money to buy the watch, which is fine, life happens. So the goal was to buy this watch when we reached 10,000 subscribers. But again, life is unpredictable. So I came across somebody, a friend of a friend, who was selling this watch. The deal was really good. So this friend of a friend, my acquaintance, I've met this guy a few times before. It's a really nice gentleman. He is an experienced watch collector, so I had no fear buying from this gentleman. On top of that, the watch just has been serviced and it was a local sale, so of course we met at my watchmaker's to check out and to authenticate the watch. So it was kind of one of those not once in a lifetime, but one of those rare opportunities where you can actually inspect the watch at your watchmakers and you can buy locally, saving a lot of that import tax. I live in Canada and the import taxes on buying luxury watches are crazy. I mean, the import tax alone on this watch would be around 700 bucks, something like that, 700 Canadian. So that's roughly about, I don't know, 450, 500 US dollars. A pretty good chunk of change that could be invested into a different watch. Second of all, the watch was already serviced. So again, I didn't have to spend much money on servicing the watch. And what's more, the watch was serviced by my watchmaker. So we share the same watchmaker. There are two really nice watchmakers in the city where I live. One of them is named Norbert, kind of a legendary guy in the city. If you are a watch collector, you know of this watchmaker. So he has serviced the watch, which was again kind of a great news rolling. So the seller and I have made plans to meet last Friday at the watchmakers. We met there, had a cup of coffee, sat down, talked a little bit about his hobby. He has some other watches that I'm actually interested in purchasing. One of them being the Omega Speedmaster and another one being a vintage Omega Seamaster. So that might be coming up maybe when we reach 10,000 subscribers, who knows? So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, help me get those two watches so I have an excuse in front of my girlfriend. She's already kind of mad about this purchase. But anyways, so we met up at the watchmakers. The Norbert has opened up the watch and of course he knew the watch because he just serviced it like a week or 2 weeks ago. So he opened it up, he wrote down some things for me on a piece of paper, like the reference number. So this is a Rolex from 1979. So it's a vintage Rolex, and you know I love vintage watches. It has a USA Rolex Jubilee bracelet, and you know I love Jubilee bracelets. It has a nice fluted bezel, and that's the kind of Rolex that I was looking for. Now, to be honest, I would have preferred it to have a blue dial. I think that is my favorite variant on vintage Rolex Datejust models, but this dial looks incredible because it's not just silver. It kind of, in certain lights, looks a little bit champagne. In some lights it looks almost white, in some lights it looks almost silver. Now I can understand why so many people love these Rolex dials, because they do play with the light really nicely. So when I saw the watch was in a much better condition than the pictures that the seller sent to me. The watchmaker opened it up, told me the reference number. So this is a reference 16030 with the 3035 Rolex movement, 27 jewels, 6th position, and this is a quick set date movement, which was something that I was looking forward to because I didn't want to buy a vintage Rolex Datejust without a quick set date, because it would be a pain in the neck trying to change that date, and I don't think I'd be able to wear it with the wrong date. I have some of my Vostoks, like the Vostok Komandyrski, with there's that hack to change the date quickly, but it's still not a quick set, and it's so painful every time I wear that watch, because I love when the date lines up with the current date, and if it doesn't, it really bugs me. So anyways, I was really happy that it's a quick set date, so a lot of bonuses and a lot of benefits to this watch. So I paid around $2,500 US, which is again a really good price. So it was serviced, it was local, so I didn't have to pay import charges, and it was $2,500. So for a watch like this in this condition, that's a really good price. It does look like it's been polished at some point, and one of the things that I actually didn't notice initially, and something that you might have noticed if you have a good eye for this, I was just so excited, and there was no question in my mind that it's an authentic watch, because my watchmaker has checked it, and he was the one who serviced the watch, so there was no doubt that it was an authentic watch. Plus, this watch collector that sold it to me is he's a member of a watch club in our city. He's kind of a known person, so again, I know for a fact that he doesn't have any fake watches to sell. But anyways, something that I didn't notice is the fact that the magnifier on the date doesn't magnify correctly. So you can see it's not magnified to 2.5 times like it's supposed to. And I didn't notice it that day. I didn't notice it on Friday. I only noticed it in the evening of Friday, and I was like, oh crap, did I buy a fake watch? But I was like, I couldn't be a fake watch because my watchmaker has checked it. Did I buy a watch with the aftermarket crystal, but the seller and the watchmaker said they was all original? So I was kind of upset about it. I really didn't know what to expect, so I thought maybe the watchmaker has overlooked it, or who knows what have happened. And I was like, oh my god, how could I spend so much money, and now I have this thing that really bothers me. The Cyclops is not properly magnified. Come Monday, because the watchmaker is closed on the weekends, I went back to his shop and he looked at it again. He said, no, like this is an original crystal, but basically what has happened over the years, the crystal has been buffed because of the scratches. It is an acrylic crystal, of course, so it has been buffed over the years, and some of that magnification has been buffed off. So that's why the magnification is not as strong as it's supposed to be, and he says it's totally normal. Well, in the meantime, before Monday, I also called the seller, the gentleman who sold me the watch. I told him about my concern with the magnification. He said, oh, you know what, I know that it's original, but if it bothers you so much, I have 2 other aftermarket crystals that you can use. Just go to Norbert on Monday and replace the crystal, and I will pay for the replacement because it's bothering you, and I want you to have a good positive experience with your first Rolex. So I went to the watchmaker. He confirmed that it is in fact original crystal to this watch, and I asked if he can replace it with one of the aftermarket crystals, and he said no. From his experience, and maybe this is a helpful information to you guys, he said that aftermarket crystals are not that great for Rolex watches, especially the acrylic ones. According to my watchmaker, a lot of these crystals over time wear out, and a lot of them crack from the inside, and the top of the crystal sort of falls off, and all that's left is the ring that is snugly fitted within the bezel. So a lot of people don't notice their crystal falling off, and maybe they have the watch in their pocket or something like that, or maybe they bang the crystal against something and it cracks easily and it falls off, and then you damage the hands, you damage the dial. So he really strongly recommended that I stay away from these aftermarket crystals, and he also said that it's kind of silly to replace an original Rolex crystal with the aftermarket one. I said fair enough, and kind of went back home, and I was thinking more about it, and you know what, I am still gonna replace the crystal. I actually just ordered an original Rolex crystal, and if you don't know, these aftermarket crystals are super cheap. They're like 30 bucks, and the original Rolex crystals, they can be found for around 120, 150 US dollars online, still packaged from the Rolex factory. So I ordered one of them, just waiting for it to arrive. So I am gonna change the crystal on this watch to a different one. Nothing wrong with this crystal. There are no scratches. It looks great. It fits the watch really well. It actually has a really nice fit. It's well rounded, but that magnification, or the lack of the proper magnification, really bothers me. So I am gonna replace the crystal. And that's the story behind the purchase of this watch. Basically, it was a good deal. It came out of nowhere. And if you are familiar with my channel, you know that I recently bought a birthday present for myself, a vintage Baume & Mercier. So I already spent a whole bunch of money on watch, and I wasn't ready or expecting to spend money on another one, especially an expensive purchase like this. But it was just the right time. It was the right purchase. So I'm really happy that I bought. Now, let's talk about my experience with the Rolex. How did my first week go? Am I disappointed? What are my emotions about this watch? Well, I feel great. I am very happy that I purchased this watch. It's been on my wrist every single day. It's a super comfortable watch to wear, obviously, because it's very light. The Jubilee bracelet is obviously very comfortable to wear. It slides really nicely under the shirt. It's kind of a casual watch, but could also be worn with the suit and tie. And in fact, the next day after I purchased this watch, so last Saturday, my girlfriend had her Christmas party, and I wore this watch to the Christmas party. Now let me tell you this. Nobody noticed my watch, even though I was constantly going like this. Do you guys want to know what time it is? Nobody noticed the watch, and that's okay, because I didn't buy the watch for other people. I bought it for myself. And what really mattered to me is how the watch made me feel. And when I was wearing this watch, it made me feel, I don't know how to explain it. It made me feel like I have like a little secret superpower. I have a little secret that nobody else knows about, and it's on my wrist. It makes me feel more confident, and it was a great experience to have the next day after buying your watch, because you are still in that honeymoon period already, and now you also have an excuse to go to like a fancy event. It was at a yacht club, so it was fancy, and having a Rolex on your wrist, even though nobody knew or even cared, if I did. And that's kind of my point about buying this watch. Since then, nobody noticed. Nobody commented about the watch other than the people on Instagram. Of course, I posted a picture there. But nobody noticed, nobody cared, and that's fine, because I bought the watch for myself. And that was one of the reasons why I actually wanted the Datejust model at 36 millimeters. I think the size is perfect, and the watch is not too flashy. It's not too in your face. And if you didn't know what you were looking at, you would have never taken a second look at this watch and thought it was a Rolex. It's just another watch on the wrist. So don't buy a Rolex to impress other people. Buy it because you truly care about it. Now, do I feel differently? Do I feel somehow better now that I have a Rolex on my wrist? No, not really. I mean, it's just another watch. It didn't change anything at all. So again, if you're buying a watch for that purpose, if you're thinking that it's going to make you feel better long term, probably won't. Obviously, I was very happy for the first 2-3 days. I couldn't stop looking at it, and I still feel like that, but it's kind of a temporary happiness. It obviously fades away because it's just a material thing, and I'm just really excited and looking forward to building even more memories with this watch. And now that I'm going to replace the crystal, I have another story about it. Sucks that it's going to cost me some money, but that's okay. So that's my 1 week update with the Rolex Datejust. I know I've been rambling a lot in this video, and I do appreciate if you watched it until the end. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this Rolex Datejust. I know a lot of you guys don't really care about Rolex watches, which is totally fair. I mean, not everybody needs to love Rolex watches or love IWC or love Omega, you know, to each their own. If you don't really care about Rolex, that's totally fine. But let me know what is kind of your grail watch. And it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. I mean, for a really long time, that vintage Baume & Mercier was a grail watch for me, a nice vintage chronograph, and that watch wasn't that expensive. It was like 400 bucks. So let me know what is your grail watch. I always enjoy reading your comments, and I do appreciate you watching until the end. By the way, I will do a full review of this watch in maybe a month time when I replace the crystal, and give you some feedback about how that went, and give you some feedback on the accuracy. But the accuracy so far has been fantastic because the watch has just been serviced. So thank you for watching this video. There is a secret link in the description below. I didn't include a secret link in the last video, and a lot of people were like, what the hell, Oleg, where's the secret link? It's back, baby. The secret link is back. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.